Hello, hello, everybody. Hello, sorry, I'm eating. Hello, guys. Welcome. Hi, how are we doing? Hey, Lonnie, nice to see you again, love. Leanne, Laura, thank you so much. You're first in the lift. She's like, bam, I'm going in. Laura, I got you in first. Thank you so much, love, for the donation. Hi, guys. Just waiting for a few more people to trickle in. I hope you're having, I think it's Easter, right? I mean, I don't know. I don't celebrate this stuff. I'm not a very good holiday person. Um, Tom, nice to see you. Thank you guys for being here on a wonderful weekend on a Sunday. Like I said, I believe it's Easter. I'm pretty sure it's Easter. I just, live in my own bubble. Good evening, Deborah. Oh my gosh, nice to meet you guys. It's nice to have days off. Yes, Nicola, absolutely. Light energy meditation. Good to see you again, my love. I am good. I am so good, you guys. I've been so busy. Unfortunately, I missed out on, I think it was last week I missed out on the live. I booked like a few acting gigs back to back, so I've just been shooting all week and you're on set all day, so there's just like, no way. But I gave a donation on the reading you weren't able to attend. Could I have one? Sure. No problem, Lonnie. I don't remember, but that's fine. I trust you. I will put you second, love. 4 days peace in England. Amazing. KD. Oh yeah, you did, Lonnie. Now I remember. Yes, absolutely. Second time here. Amazing, KD. So good, guys. Oh, amazing. I'm so grateful that you guys are back. Where am I located, Christina? I'm in Los Angeles. LA. So yeah, so I've been here for I think about 13, 14 years now almost. Yeah, it's been quite a journey. I moved here from Australia not knowing anyone. Just packed up and went basically and figured it out. So I've been here ever since. Now I'm doing pretty well, but it was not a smooth ride at the beginning. I can tell you that much. It was incredibly difficult. But I guess anybody who's changed, moved country by themselves, it's tough. I keep hitting negativity, so been doing past scripting. Ah, you're Australian. Yes, I am, Nicola. Thank you, Tom. I got you in third. So, guys, actually, I'll start now. So, welcome. So nice to have you guys here. So I'll just give you a quick rundown on how it works here. So as you saw, some people are already giving donations, and essentially what happens if you give a donation, it's not expected. Hey, Naomi, nice to meet you. If you give a donation, essentially you lock your position in. So right now I have 3 people in line, and you get a longer reading. But I will start off with a group reading so everybody gets something. Also, if I'm reading for somebody else, the chances are there's a message in there for you. This always seems to be the case every time I do a reading, and oftentimes you will find that the group reading somehow links back to the singular reading. Sorry, my stomach is like making sounds. I hope you guys can't hear it. So let me just see as well here. My light is low. Oh, she is alive. Okay. And then if nobody else gives donations, of course, it's not expected. I will start basically taking questions after that. Thank you, Naomi. I got you down. So currently I have Laura, Lornie. Thank you. Can't read my own writing. Tom and Naomi, and then Light as well. All right. Okay, guys, so let's begin. I just want to invite you all just to take a moment, just to close your eyes. If there's a message that you want to receive, but you don't have time to give donation or whatever, just send your spiritual team to me, and hopefully they can send me a clear message for you today. So just take a minute if you can, close your eyes, and just call forth your spiritual team. And then we will begin. By the way, just a quick shout out. This is my deck of cards that I created, guys, the Realm Oracle, and I am so excited this is coming out soon. I just finished approving all of the designs and everything, so they are in production. So they'll be out hopefully in about a month. This is going to be a whole other way of reading people's energies, people's archetypes. It is a whole new thing. Very, very woo-woo, very, very out there. Think of it kind of like astrology. So yeah, so I'm very excited about this. So we'll get into it once the cards are here, once the book is done, but hopefully I'll do more lives about that. Hey Farah, nice to meet you. Thank you, Jessica. All right, guys, so we're going to get into the group reading. I've got cards here if you can't see them. I got a new desk because for those of you who don't know, I have a lot of rats and mice and hamsters. I rescue a lot. And so they like to be on my desk for some reason. They peed all over my last desk. So the beauties of having little critters. So I had to get rid of it because it was getting gross, and I don't allow them on this one as much. So hopefully that helps. But anyway, it was a cheap desk, so it's not a big deal. Whew, all right, guys. So I'm just tuning in. All right. Well, okay. Jeez Louise. As you'll see, I have a very specific way of doing readings, by the way. I very much let the universe guide my readings. I allow the cards to fall out. I find that to be personally the most accurate way because it's not being controlled by me. And essentially, like you can see right now, this card is high. So usually I know that's a sign. So that's basically how I do my readings, which is not the common way of doing it, but I'm not very common. That's for sure. So yes. Oh, that one flipped. All right, here we go. So like I said, this is a general reading, and then I'll get into the 101 readings. Just gonna move shit out of the way. Okay, guys, we already got 2 major arcana, so there's some big things happening for everybody. So I'm just quickly reading. How did you get accepted in LA? I got some issues in not accepted. I flipping church jack, so awful. Me and church don't get on. Okay, Nicola. Well, we'll get into that in a minute. Once I do this reading, I'll answer the questions. Jamie, what's up, my man? Oh my God, EI. So good to see you again. Guys, I love it how you guys come back for these lives. I'm so grateful. It's been quite a minute, huh? Oh, thank you. You're excited for my cards? Yeah, me too, man. They've been... It's interesting to channel and like design a whole deck of oracle cards, so... Okay, Nicola, yes, my love. We'll get into it in a minute. Let me just get to this and then I'll get to you. Okay, guys. So, and there might be a message here for you as well, Nicola. So let's just see. I just got to just focus and download. Okay, interesting. So, so I'm feeling, guys, that there is a little bit of something like some of you feel like you've missed out on an opportunity, or like you don't have the skills or the tools or the energy or the freaking motivation or whatever it is to get to somewhere. And so what I'm feeling here essentially is like a lot of not feeling enough, not feeling good enough, not feeling like, kind of like, what's the freaking point of even trying? It's not even going to happen for me anyway. So I feel like there's a lot of like negative talk happening with a lot of you guys. So, excuse me. So one of the things I will say that's coming up very, very strongly is that whenever anybody does anything, they all do not have the skill, the motivation, and all of that, okay? When we make a decision to make something happen, when we make a decision to move into something new or create something new, we gotta understand that we've gotta develop. Hi, Richie, Evie. We've gotta develop the skills. And a lot of us expect things to happen for us in an easy way. And oftentimes, especially the spiritual community, what ends up happening is that they say, oh, if it's meant for you, things will just fall into place. Peanut! Sorry, my dog, guys. He's not allowed to bark. Hey! I will come down there. He's adorable. So a lot of us have to understand essentially that when we make a decision to move into something new, create something new, it's like moving up a mountain. It's like climbing a mountain, right? There's many different ways to get there. It doesn't mean that one way is the right way, okay? But there is going to be some work that needs to be put into it. And with some people, in fact, I say almost everybody, we all need some kind of mentor, right? So let's just say I started my site, let's just use the cards, for example. When I started the journey on the cards, I had to learn how to design the package. I had to learn how to make the cards. I had to learn how to do all of this stuff. That's the working up the mountain, right? So I did a course, and an online course teaches me, or YouTube, or whatever it is, right? So I essentially had a mentor. So what I'm hearing for a lot of you is that don't be afraid to look into expanding, learning, and growing, and getting some kind of a mentorship, because that's really going to help you leap and bound into what you want, even if it is to do just with motivation, right? If some of you feeling like shit and you're not having a good time and mentally you're having a really tough time, therapist is a mentor, or a spiritual healer could be a mentor. Thor. I mean, yeah, if you can get Thor in your reality, good for you. That'd be kind of cool. So essentially what I'm also hearing is, as well as like, good, look, you can get what you want. Stop also talking negative things about yourself and about this situation, because that negativity is essentially putting weight on you, and it's preventing you from even trying. Hey Tolkien, nice to see you, nice to meet you. Richie, oh no, you're already there. So essentially what I'm hearing as well, a lot of you need to be a little bit more patient, okay? We expect things, once again, and I feel like this is the negative side of the spiritual community, is like this manifestation thing, right? Some things I've manifested like this, other things I'm still manifesting. So it takes it, we got to understand, we got to really learn to appreciate the journey to the top of the mountain. That is the adventure, that is the key to getting there. The figuring out things, the learning, the discovering new things. It's all about you discovering what you're really deep down capable of. And oftentimes the thing that stops us is ourselves, and it's this negative thought. Oh my god, what is it with Thor? Thoughts. It's this negative belief systems that oftentimes either we pick up from other people, we have downloaded because of childhood, or we've created ourselves. And again, I'm hearing all is well in leadership, right? So we need some kind of leadership, guys. And a lot of my mentors are online. There are other spiritual people that I follow. I'm always learning, always studying, always growing. So I always seek people that inspire me, people that I've seen their journey and what did they do. And that's how I get my motivation. And I've also had therapists. I've also had counselors. I've also had spiritual leaders. I get spiritual healings and all that sort of stuff. So I do what I can in order to help me to then get myself there. So what I'm hearing here in the collective essentially is that you guys got to start stepping into the position of the things that you need, and not stepping down into the old version of yourself where it's sabotaging and preventing you from moving forward. So when you have a challenge, think of yourself as like, okay, if I want to build a business, what would Jacqueline, who's successful, think and do and feel? Not the Jacqueline now who's not successful yet, right? And so they would probably do this, they would probably do that. And 99% of the time, guys, we already have the answers. We already know what we need to do. We just don't do it. So start doing them. Start thinking about them. Start downloading that information. You're smart enough. You're capable enough. You're talented enough. And if you're not, you can freaking learn it. But a lot of the times, the reality is that people are lazy. They want to stay in comfort. That's not how you're going to grow. So, and mentor is a big one. Again, I keep hearing that. Oh, nice to meet you, Sharon. Thank you so much for being here. I'm learning you cannot control what other people... Oh, you're reading the... Richie, you're reading the Let Them Theory with Robbins, right? Okay, so, Nicola, about acceptance, my love. So, here's the thing. People and situations, unfortunately, I guess, are essentially a reflection of ourselves. They're a reflection of the relationship that we have with ourselves. So if you're trying to move in here and you're feeling very judged and you're feeling very outside, it's oftentimes because that's the relationship that you have with yourself, or the way that you see yourself. So if you judge yourself, if you judge yourself of not being good enough, of not being smart enough, of not being enough, of not being cool enough, whatever the story is that you made up, right? Then we create relationships essentially that manifest this. I'll give you an example. For instance, for me, I still have this programming where I think that people don't like me, because I've always felt like an outsider. I've always been very different. And just today, a group of close friends of mine are all hanging out near me, and they didn't invite me. And of course, it's going to trigger all of this story, right? All of this bullshit, all of this thing that comes up. And you can't force people to like you. And I am different. And I am not always the funnest person because I'm a little bit more serious than most people. Well, is there a little bit more fun and loose and loosey goose and like to party a little bit? And I'm not much of a big partier. So obviously they don't want to invite me if I'm not going to be part of the party, right? I like to have deep and meaningful conversations, but I can be silly too. So at the end of the day, we never really know why. But if I honor myself and like myself, and the minute I felt those feelings, what I started doing is I started giving myself love, and I started saying, look, I love you. I think you're cool. I appreciate you. And that's all that really matters at the end of the day. And I do have other wonderful friends who would never do that, right? But our ego gets attached to certain things. And I get hurt too, love. Nikolai, like I said, literally today, it happened today. And I was so hurt because I've known these people since I moved to LA. And what can you do? At the end of the day, if they don't want to hang out, they don't want to hang out. They have their reasons. And we often make it about us, but a lot of the time it's probably about them. It's something going on with them. And that's okay because I can make new friends. I have other friends who are wonderful. And it's easier just like Richie said, I think it was Richie, he's like, let them do what they want to do. And then let me choose how I want to react to that. But if I fall into victim and I start going into the headset that I'm not enough and I knew they didn't love me and this, next time I see them, I'm going to be resentful and angry. And I don't want to do that. They have the right to hang out without me. They have the right to do these things, and the same people that you meet, love. But if you really got to get to know yourself and what you like and who you are, and when you do that, you're going to attract the right people. I'm not going to cut them all off, but thank you, Nicola, because you see, then I become just like them. And I'm not like them. I don't do that kind of shit to people. I don't play those fucking games. I don't have the need to say, well, I'm not going to invite them to the party because they didn't invite me last time. I have no time for that. I'm going to love them. I'm going to shower with them appreciation, and they have to live with their own shit. Does that make sense, Nicola? Because that's how you rise above the bullshit. And the problem is because I'm somebody who does not believe in bullshit, a lot of people don't like that. So, well, Nicola, again, I'm just being very direct. People can poke their nose in your stuff, but you allow them a lot of this. You have to learn to protect yourself, to be your own friend, and to have your boundaries strong. When you learn how to do that, people can talk about you. And I have closest friends who talk shit about me all the time because I'm very much online. I'm an incredibly opinionated person. And people don't like that, and that's okay. That is so freaking fine. I like me. Because I'm going to die with me. And that's all that matters. Okay? All right. So let's get into it. Laura, you are first, my friend. What's going on? What's happening? Thank you, light energy. Love and compassion heals all. Yes, absolutely. Laura, so I was really bonding with a man. This happens rarely. Okay. And then it abruptly ended. I really feel he's my soulmate, but at the same time, I don't like what happened. Should I move on, or is he the one? Okay, wonderful. So first and foremost, Laura, I actually literally made a meditation today, which is going to come out maybe in a week on Insight Timer, to get the angels to help you when it comes to this kind of situations, literally. So I think it's called Angel Guidance. What should I do? ? Or something like that. So keep an eye out for it, but it'll be out on my YouTube tomorrow. This is going to help you just to receive some guidance and some clarity around something like this. Sorry, guys. This is where my nose starts getting itchy when I start doing readings. Happens all the time. Okay. So let me just connect with you. I'm just going to shut the energy with everybody else. And by the way, guys, if I miss things in the chat or whatever, please be patient. I do get a lot of messages, so I'm not a very fast reader, and I'm also trying to channel and do things at the same time. So if I miss anything, just ask it again. Okay. Okay, my cards want to come out. Breathing back the truth, love. Sorry, I have to read this, Richie. My cousin, sister, and husband stopped having nights out with us because we don't have our own house now. We are renting now. Their attitude has changed after we lost our house. Wow. Whoa. That's different. People are funny, man. I remember that Jacqueline said in one of her sessions, a reminder, rejection is protection. Yes, KD, I love that. Absolutely, 100%, you know. And like I said, you know, at the end of the day, this group of people, they're amazing. I love them to death, but they like to do substances and stuff, and I just don't. And that's probably another reason why they didn't invite me, right? But then again, maybe not, you know. Maybe they're just hanging out and they just wanted a different vibe, and I am a different vibe. So they probably didn't want this vibe in the mix. But it's all good, man. Just being honest. Okay, so Zalora, I'm just connecting with you. What happened with this guy? I'm gonna get a few cards for you because this is obviously going to be a bit of a story. So give me these are my original first cards, and they don't fall out as easily as the other one. Perfect. Okay, and then let me get these ones want to come out. This guy, what is the story? Oh, there we go. Yeah, okay. So we got the unicorn card here. Okay. One of the things I'm hearing here, Laura, is that there's some kind of secret going on here. I don't know if he's holding a secret or maybe you're holding back a little bit. I'm not getting the full download around this. But essentially, I feel like there's some kind of a secret that he's and again, secret doesn't mean a bad thing, by the way. Please don't jump to like the worst case scenario. Sometimes people have a secret, like, you know, they're afraid of getting closer to people because something that they happened to them, or they're just guarding their heart because they're afraid of being hurt again and they got cheated on, or, you know, who knows what the story is, right? But what I'm hearing here is there's some kind of like guarding, protecting, fear of exposing something, the truth. And sometimes what I've noticed with some people is like when you make yourself so open and vulnerable, that freaks them out, because then they know at this point it's like the next step. And sometimes people don't want to take the next step, and so they walk away, you know. Again, I'm just telling you what I'm feeling, hearing right now. Hopefully the puzzle will come together, but just give me a bit of time to receive the information. Yeah, it's funny. Okay, so the angel card came up. This is very interesting. So they're really telling me you need to do my meditation because you're going to receive some downloads here, because my meditation was literally connected to the angelic realm and asking them specific questions as to what happened and why this didn't work out. And then the other thing is the unicorn card come out. So here's a reminder of the true power of love. One that is free, unconditional, and not rooted in ownership or control. This experience is not just about a relationship. It is a lesson in understanding love beyond attachment. If someone is being possessive or controlling of you, it is time to recognize this and reclaim your freedom. You should you should be uplifted, not confined. Open your heart to love that flows without conditions, and allow yourself to experience it in the purest form. So again, this is the secret thing that I'm hearing, okay? There's something here. There's like, I don't know, something. We'll get to it in a minute. Hopefully they'll give me some clarity on this. Sorry, guys. Give me 1 second. My dog is barking. He's not allowed to do that. We're going to get in trouble. Hey! Peanut, please. Stop. Hey! Come here. You are being naughty boy. Come on, Mama. Oh, you're a little demon. Yeah, you just wanted to be here, didn't you? So sorry, guys. Apparently, Mr. Peanut doesn't understand. Quiet. Okay. I know. I love you too, Bubbles. You're not allowed on the floor, though, because the rats are out. Stop. Okay, so the other thing that they're saying here, Laura, is that there is a better course of action available to you. Working alone may not be the best answer. Review all the details. So essentially what I'm hearing here is that you don't have enough information. So again, we're going into a lot of what ifs, creating stories in our minds, and telling ourselves like, oh, but he did it because of this or something like that. So essentially, is there a way for you to gather more information? But I would recommend for the time being maybe stepping back and giving it a little bit of time until the waters settle. And then you don't need to go through these challenges alone. Help is nearby. Negative thoughts create self-fulfilling prophecies. Okay. So what's been happening here now is that you've obviously felt maybe some kind of rejection. You're starting to feel like, what did I do wrong? How did it go from this to that, And so again, I'm feeling like, it's funny because it kind of feels like what we said before. I feel like you're kind of taking on the blame a lot of this, and this is not your fault. I'm hearing, please don't blame yourself for anything. I think, again, it comes back to this secret, right? It's something that maybe he's not telling you. Maybe that's what the secret is, right? There is a reason that this happened, and he's just not telling you what it is. He might not know how to tell you what that is. I don't know if you're still in communication or not, but maybe when things feel lighter and a little bit more less heavy and intense, maybe that's the time to probably ask him. It's like, hey, what happened? Like, we were connected and now it's like you just poof, and he may or may not open up to you about it, but essentially what I'm hearing is he needs to feel safe enough to open up to you. And it's not like you're doing anything wrong. Again, this is his shit that he's just projecting onto you, and it's just not, I don't feel like he's a very good communicator in that department, obviously. So yeah, some people are just terrible communicators. My mom is one of them. She's absolutely awful. She'll like try to get things out of you passive aggressively, which drives me up the wall. So, again, and she'll do shit like that, right? She'll stop talking or whatever. You're like, dude, just say what it is that you want. Hey, Siji, good to see you. So what I'm hearing here essentially though, that even though in your mind the situation was exactly what you wanted, there are things that weren't exactly as in alignment as you thought they were. So I would really recommend to take this time to really, I'm not saying red flags or big red flags or anything, but when we're in love, we kind of just, everything's fucking amazing right there. Like, take the garbage out, and you're like, yes, I will take it out for you, the best thing that you've ever asked me to do. And then like 5 years later, they like take the garbage out, and you're like, take it out yourself, you lazy ass. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things that I'm just saying right now, you're in the love zone, so your energy's amplified, everything's great, and you're tolerating a lot of things, but I think there's some things that when you really sit back and look at it, it might not be exactly the way that maybe you're seeing it. So yeah, Peanut is famous, by the way. He's done quite a few commercials with me. He's a character. So yeah. Okay, so does that make sense, Laura? Do you have any more questions? Because I want to give you like at least walk away with something a little bit more specific. But I really don't want you to blame yourself here, because this is not your fault. This is honestly like there's some kind of secret. There's like somebody guarding some. By the way, this is my cards, guys. How pretty are these? They're guarding something. Okay, so there's like a protecting and a possessiveness as well, which I don't know if it's a possessiveness with the relationship, and he might, I don't know if he's, I feel like either you or him are being also a little bit possessive in the situation as well, by the way, just so you know. No, CG, I'm not. I've got currently, I'm doing Laura now. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 people in line who've given donations. So if you want to give a donation, you're more than welcome to. Or you can just wait at the end, and then I will just take questions. When can you purchase the cards? They will be available hopefully, I'm hoping in about a month. So we'll see. Thank you. I got you down, my love. Um, so they're in production right now. And yeah, I don't know if you guys know the story, but I can't spell. So there was one that was spelt like, thank God I had to like revisit several times. These are a sample. I had the shapeshifters and I spelt shapeshitters. So yeah, not good. Imagine it like I got like 1,000 of these and then somebody's like shapeshitters. It's like, what is a shapeshitter? Okay. So Laura, are you there, my love? I don't see you right now, so I'm assuming. Yeah, dude, like the spell out of everything that I could have spelt wrong, I spelt shapeshitters. Like I laughed. I was like, thank God we caught it because I don't think I could sell the cards with shapeshitters on it. Yeah, it's shape shit. Yeah, it does make sense. I've been getting some signs there's a secret, maybe even third party involved. Yeah. Not love, but maybe have family member or something. Yeah. But yeah, he wants to move on, but heart is a bit stuck still. I know, sweetie. I'm so sorry. Listen, sometimes we feel like they're perfect, right? We just see them and you're like, how can you not fucking see it, right? You get along with them, you're in love with them, everything's working out great, but if it's not your person, it's not going to work out. And Laura, I'm telling you this, please trust me on this one. You didn't miss out on anything. It's just a sign that you're getting closer to, yes, Peanut, you're getting closer to what you want. So oftentimes we see these things as a negative, but they're actually the complete opposite. The fact that you had a connection with somebody, like you said, that it's not something that happens very often, and the fact that you had this relationship, even though it wasn't the length that you wanted it to be, it's a sign that you're getting closer to what you want and you've made the shift. So you got to trust that and you got to celebrate that. Don't go into the next relationship with this wound or pain because then you can shut down again, right? You got to go in with it going, oh my God, I'm getting closer to what I want and what I really need. Were you just screaming because you just wanted me to let you in here because you know that's what's going to happen? Hmm? You little noodles. Okay, Laura, so any more questions before I move on, my love? And I'm sorry you're going through this, but I promise you, you're going to look back and you're going to be like, thank God that happened. I promise. Because when the right person shows up, you're like, who? That guy who? I don't even remember him. What was the thing? But right now, you're just so in it because it's such a fresh experience. But I promise you, you won't even like blink an eye about this. Okay, so Lorne, you're next, my love. So I'm just closing the energy with Laura. I am starting a mental wellness club for students. The kickoff event is this week, and I am very nervous. I am very quiet and don't know how to speak in front of a group, and I'm putting myself out there in a way that I've never before. Well, congratulations. That is absolutely amazing. I also don't know how many will attend. Do you have any guidance or foresight on how this will go? Okay, well, I can definitely do that, but I'm also going to give you some advice. Regardless of whether people show up or not, you showed up for yourself. Um, and that's a huge thing. And the fact that you're doing this is amazing. My biggest advice, though, is please be yourself. And above everything else, tell people your story through your work. The best way that people, I think, really see it is because they can relate. They can see themselves in you. And when people see, man, she's been through shit and she's putting herself out there and she's trying, oftentimes people admire that and recognize that. And truthfulness is always the way to go, you know. I mean, at least for me. What about you, Peanut? What do you think? I'm going to high five. Can I have a kiss? No? Okay. Yeah, he's a baby. He's just a big baby, isn't he? Oh. My 6-year-old talent show and told me He pretends no one's in the room, and that helps him to calm down. Yes, I love that. I've also heard the one, just picture everybody else naked. What I do is I see energy. And so when I'm talking to people, essentially, I think one of the biggest advice that I've ever heard is don't walk into a room with everybody, expecting everybody wanting you to fail. All the time when you walk in a room and do a presentation, everybody wants you to succeed. So remember to have that attitude when you walk in there and not to expect yourself to be perfect. No. Aw, I love this. You got a really cute card, Lonnie. Okay. All right, Pina. Do you want to do it? Do you want to read it? What does it say? Okay, so this is a really nice card for you, Lonnie. Okay, so it says making new friends. But what I love about this card as well is that there's a lot of butterflies, and butterflies are a sign of change, of transformation. So you're actually going through the butterfly phase, not the butterfly effect. So what essentially is happening right now is that you're transforming, you're growing, you're changing yourself. And it's through this thing that you're doing, you're helping other people, but essentially, of course, you're helping yourself. And what I'm hearing here is, because it's with children, right? Parenting and child came out. This makes so much freaking sense. You're healing your inner child through this work. When I teach you guys, when I'm doing this, I'm healing myself. Everything's a mirror. We're all very selfish, by the way, guys. Even if you don't think you are. In a good way, not in a bad way. So what I'm hearing here is that you're taking some huge leap and bounds in transforming yourself, transforming your reality, making some really big healing internal changes. And you're going to help them as well, of course, in the process, because that's just how the mirror works, right? Hey, Hannah, good to see you again, my love. So nice to have you here. So understand that this is a big deal for you, and I can feel that, because you are doing something, like you said, that is so out of your comfort zone, like so out of your comfort zone that it's absolutely terrifying. But think of it this way. This is something that somebody said to me. The anxiety that we get is the same energy that we get when we're excited. So turn that anxiety into excitement, okay? And essentially letting go, okay? Let go of expectations. Let go of the pressure. Let go of expecting yourself to be perfect, to be liked, to be anything. Walking there, was it Picasso that said this? I love this saying. When I paint, I leave my ego out the door. So essentially, he leaves that part of you outside, and he just comes in. And what I do when I teach is I think about the message. What is it that I'm trying to say here? It's not about me, because when you make it about yourself, then you get nervous, because then you're like, what do they think about me? Do they like me? Do they want me? I'm like, I don't fucking care. I'm here to do something. And what is that thing that you want to do? So if you put your intention, your energy into the mission itself, then you don't matter. Your ego can be out the door. And what they think, what they say, if they're being, whatever, let them do it. Because at the end of the day, as long as you focus on the message, they'll receive that. Does that make sense, Lornie? That's very, very important, by the way. I'm giving you some really powerful tips here on how to really walk in there. So if I were you, since you're going to be really nervous, and it's completely normal and natural, by the way, especially the first time when I started teaching meditation classes live, I shat my pants so many times, not literally, by the way. But I was so nervous as well, because I'm like, I know I can do this online, but I've never done it in front of other people. When I had to teach rehab, I'm like, oh my gosh, but like you, I was just like, I know I'm ready. I got to do it, and I'll figure it out as I go. And I'm probably going to fall flat on my face a few times, which I did. And that's okay. My first class that I taught was an absolute freaking disaster. Absolute disaster. It was so embarrassing. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And on top of that, I thought I was teaching for 1 hour. Then he's like, no, you're doing 2 hours. So I wasn't prepared for 2 hours. So I was like, how am I going to do 2 hours? So yes, I worked in rehab, Christina. I used to teach in rehab, so I did that for about 2 years. I taught meditation, mindfulness, self-empowerment. So my first session was absolutely awful. I was mortified when I left. And that's a tough crowd, by the way. And kids are a tough crowd. And then what I said to myself that day, I was like, I have a choice now. I either run away, cower away, and never do this again, or I step the fuck up and I get better. And so I stepped the fuck up and I got better. And now I still have clients that come and see me after, 2 years of teaching. So do me a favor, before you go in there, I always do a ritual before I teach, because then I don't want to make it about myself. I set my intention. What do I want to say? Even when I do readings, I do my little circle, empowerment circle, which programs my mind. And then I set an intention, right? It's like, what is my mission here? I want to uplift people. I want to help people. I want to heal people. I want to connect with people. I want them to feel seen, heard, valued. Okay. And then what's my mission, right? So it's like, what am I trying to get from here? And then once you have that, just have like a little ritual for you to do before you do your session, so you can get the energy. I call on my spiritual team, and then I just walk into it and let my ego out the door. So hopefully that helps you. But you're going to do a lot of good for kids. This is very important. Do you ever get anxiety? You seem very fuck it attitude. Do I ever get anxiety? Well, considering I had a panic disorder for most of my life, no, that was good. No, I do. Now I've been doing this online for a while now, but I had somebody, I don't know if anyone's been here when I did my first session here on my live session. Terrified. So I have a lot of anxiety, but I've worked with it, and I work to heal myself all the time. And just like Lornie here, this amazing, beautiful soul, I put myself in situations where I'm absolutely out of my comfort zone. And then, of course, it becomes your comfort zone. Then you become good at it. I'm also an actor, so that kind of helps. I'm very good at yeah, I know what I'm doing, man. I eventually learn. Thank you, Jack, and all who gave me messages. Yay! And by the way, Lonnie, I'm so proud of you, man. Honestly, I remember I gave you a reading. You had a lot of stuff in your past. I really clearly remember the traumas that you had. And I remember feeling them. And I'm telling you right now, this is such a breakthrough for you. And I'm so proud of you. And I think you're going to help so many people. And yourself and your inner child more than anything else. Because I remember your inner child never felt love. And so you'll finally get to love them through this. And they deserve it, and so do you. All right. Tom, you're next, my friend. What's your question? And by the way, the fuck it attitude, I really want to say this, comes from doing the fucking work. I've done a lot of work. And I've really, 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 like I said, I've spent years and years studying, learning, growing, stretching, not following the crowd, doing what I felt like it was right for me. And there was a time, by the way, that I wasn't like that. Okay. When I started doing that, you build a lot of self-respect, because you know the work and the hours that you've put into creating something, as opposed to going out and getting drunk or partying or doing drugs or whatever the hell everybody else is doing these days. And I was by myself, working out, writing, designing my deck of cards, rescuing animals, doing the things that I value and most people think I'm fucking crazy for. So at some point you start losing, not maybe so much respect for other people, but you're like, okay, you keep doing what you're doing, my friend. You keep going and partying and wasting your life. In the meantime, I'm trying to do something that's different. And so I think that comes a little bit with that. Thank you, Karan. So this is my Oracle deck that I designed. So they're coming out soon. I'll let you, don't worry, I'll talk about them once they come out. They're in production right now. So they're called the Realms Oracle cards. This is the first, and they're really cool, like the booklet. I didn't show you guys the inside. Look how cool that is. So I designed all of it. It'll be a little bit different to this design. This won't be there. I have 2 samples right now. But yeah, and that's the front of the card. So let them. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, Tom, are you here, my love? It's your turn. Is it Tom? Did I just mess up? Tom. I will sing if he doesn't come out. And you guys do not want that. Above. Okay. I don't see it. So Tom, just so you know, I can't scroll back after a certain amount. So if you asked me before, I'm so sorry, you're gonna have to ask again because I don't see. Yeah, I don't see it. So when people make a comment, I can only go back so far after a while. So yeah, sorry, love, you're gonna have to ask the question again. In the meantime, okay. Yeah, in the meantime, expose the truth or stand back. Very toxic situation. Okay, I see what you mean. Again, this is amazing, guys. Please, please, please do my meditation that I just created today. It'll be out tomorrow on my YouTube channel, so you can go onto my profile and you can find my website and it'll take you directly to my YouTube channel, Tom. There's a meditation that I did that is going to help you a lot. But in the meantime, let me tap in. I love you. You're the love of my life. Yeah. You and all my other animals. He didn't like that. Shut up, Mum. I'm the only best one. Expose the truth or stand back. My YouTube channel is called Meditation Channel. I also concerned how dangerous she could become if how the truth is revealed. I sense her mum is driving all this. Hope my ex would break free. We have a child, otherwise I'd run. Okay, I see what you mean. Okay, let's see. There's too many cards that fell out. So I'll see if these cards, because if they're not coming out, then maybe it's another deck. Sorry, Peanut. Okay, maybe there's another deck. Patient, guys, because sometimes it takes a minute for the downloads to happen. Yeah. All right, Tom. I'm just going to read the card because I think it's going to start making sense. So you got the snake people. The snake people invite you to connect with your ancestors and your family lineage. Whatever situation you are facing, now it's the time to heal and break the cycle. Within you lies ancient wisdom. Just as we inherit the lessons and traumas of our family, we also carry their gifts. Embrace this power, for it holds the key to your transformation and freedom. Then you got cherubs. So love is in the air. And then we got incarnated demons. The incarnated demon card is a sign that something is disconnected and broken. There is a lack of compassion, connection, and empathy in this situation. Be mindful that this person or circumstance may not have your best interest at heart. This card also calls you to look within and examine your own intentions. Are you acting from a place of love and integrity? Awareness is the first step towards transformation. And then we got the dragon, which means, again, this seems to be the keeper of secrets, right? So it's definitely a very complicated situation. I'm feeling the heaviness of it, but I don't know if this card, what this means, the cherub. I'm hearing here that either, I think you, I'm assuming, and this is an assumption, I'm not sure if it's 100%, but I'm hearing here that you might have feelings for somebody else. And essentially there's a pattern here that you're stuck definitely in some kind of a situation or a cycle, which is obviously not good. So when this card comes up, this is a very big sign basically that it's look, it's not working out, it's toxic, it's not good. And honestly, Tom, if you have a kid, your kid's living in this, and if you don't think that they're picking up on this energy and seeing what's going on, parents a lot of times are not aware of how much kids notice and observe, even just energetically. So if you're with this person who you're not happy with, and I feel like entire relationship was a con, working on me. Yes. So if you're not happy and if this is not working out, my friend, I mean, it's saying here, break the cycle. There's no point in being in this. If here's the question: could you continue to be in this situation knowing that this person's never going to change? Because that's the reality of it. We keep going and pushing through relationships thinking somehow some fucking miracle's going to happen, right? That like somehow they're going to have like hit their head and going to have an epiphany and suddenly become, well, that's what I mean, so there's abuse here. Yes, I can see that, I can feel that. So this is not good as well for your kid. Your kid is watching, I'm assuming her mother or their mother, abusing you, and then they're going to grow up to think that's okay, you see, and they pick up on these behaviors. So I'm just being, at the end of the day, look, you got to make the decision and what's best for you, but it's very clear what the cards are saying. This is not going to be a good situation for either of you as long as you stay in it. I think you need to get out and heal, repair yourself. Doesn't mean you should run away, because you can still be very much present for your child, very much a great father. In fact, probably a much better father if you're not in the toxic situation. If you're out, you're not returning. Well, what about your daughter though? Or your son, sorry, your child. It's not about returning to the relationship. You don't want that. We're not saying that. What we're saying is returning for your child, in the sense of like being present for your child the best way that you can. Yeah. Yeah, much better farther away from abuse. Yeah, from the abuse, absolutely. So again, this is your choice, mate. This again, I'm not a therapist. She's withholding care and spreading lies. Yeah. Okay, I see what you mean. So if you leave away, eventually she's gonna basically make shit up and use that against you. So I get it. The demon card did come out, which, yeah, that usually can mean that there's going to be manipulation tactics used. But here's the question that you have to ask yourself, Tom. Looking in 10 years' time, what did you wish that you would have done? Because the relationship is obviously so toxic that it's breaking you down. And I've seen people stay in relationships like this. And one of them is actually my mom's sister, who's so abusive to her husband. He's a shell of a human now. And it's fucking horrible to watch. He doesn't speak up. He doesn't say anything. All she does is call him a fucking moron in front of everyone. And obviously I haven't seen them for years, but if I see it now, I'm going to speak up and say something, which is going to cause a whole bunch of other problems with the family, but whatever. Welcome to my world, everybody. But, that's one of the things I have very if I were you, I would fight for custody 100%, because this is obviously, and you can be smart about it, Tom. You don't have to like be loud in your exit. You want to think about this in a very smart way. So I would get a lawyer. I would let them know the situation, get as much information as you possibly can to give yourself the utmost success in hopefully getting custody. If she's abusive obviously towards the child as well. But there is demon energy here for sure, and this is not a good situation. And it's your job when these things happen, it's our job to break the cycle. So this is obviously a cycle in the blood lineage, whether it's yours or hers. And we don't want to pass that down to the next generation or to the world, right? So what can you do in this situation to be the light? And if you know that she's going to do this, then you've got to be 3 steps ahead of her, in the sense of, all right, I know she's probably going to use this against me. So get the information. Go and get lawyers. Set yourself up for success the best way you can. Doesn't mean you will win, doesn't mean you'll be successful, but you're breaking the cycle, and that's the most important thing. Her mom was meant to break the cycle. Yeah. And by the way, Ton, I'm so sorry that you're going through this. It is not fun. I know a lot of people who've been in this kind of situation where the mother has basically, I have a friend who's, the mother accused the father of molesting the child, which never happened. I've heard recently another friend who's the mother disappeared with the kids. So I hear horror stories all the time, but the best thing that you can do is do it legally, do it the right way, and get as much information as you can. Education is power, right, in the situation. So what are your legal rights? What are the chances of you? And I think a lot of the times when we put that energy into it, times are changing now. Oftentimes now the fathers tend to get, custody. And if she has a bad record in the past, if you have a good record, then usually it can turn out in your favor. And emotional abuse, it's horrible. It's horrible. I'm so sorry. But I really feel like you got to fight for this. I do think you should walk away. Doesn't mean tomorrow, but I think walk away with a plan and with information and with, you don't want to just walk away, go, okay, fuck it, see you later. Like you've already spoken to the lawyer. You already got the papers coming out. You are ready when you walk away. So when you walk away, you're calm. You're in power. You're not freaking out. You know what I mean? And so that she can throw her games, make sure you record every conversation. Make sure you record everything. Have evidence. Because if you're going to go to court, you've got the evidence, right? So think ahead. You got to be 3 steps ahead of her. And the good thing is when people are abusive, by the way, they're actually kind of predictable, right? You're going to know what her tactics are. So be three steps ahead of her. The hardest part of this part is you're in now. Keep standing up for your rights. Get custody. Show your child what healthy looks like. Yes, take care of yourself too. Absolutely, I love that. Thank you so much. Plan and move forward. Amazing, KD. Document, Lorne. Nicole, read Jefferson Fisher's book. Amazing. It's been a year since I left my toxic relationship. The legal system take a long time, but it is worth fighting for. What is the right for you and the kids? Remember, you need time to heal too. Yes, Tom, I understand. But this is something, like I said, it's in your life lesson. It's in the karmatic pattern here. So this is a hard one to see in a spiritual way, right? Because you're so in it and it's so painful and it's so difficult. I've had a demon in my life too. I had a partner who tried to kill me and who would literally like physically torture me. So I get it. They turned out to be the best thing for me though. Now I've learned so much from that relationship, and once you heal on the other side, once you break the abusive patterns, once you build that self-love and self-respect, they cannot touch you. So you have to see, what am I learning from this? What am I growing from? And ultimately, this is not a blame thing, by the way, but for me back at the time, you got to remember the relationships we attract are oftentimes mirrors, right? So I was very kind, especially when I was 14. I was very innocent, very kind. But I was like, how could I possibly attracted somebody who abused me that badly and treated me so poorly at such a young age, right? And when I look back, I was abusing myself, and I allowed it because I had no self-esteem and no self-worth. If you have self-worth or self-esteem, these demons cannot take anything from you. A demon, by the way, which they do exist, we make contracts with them subconsciously. And by the way, we all have contracts with demons. This is a whole other topic that we could get into, but they need other people's energies to survive. Without that energy, they cannot live. It's not like us where we can live on our own source. They need other people's energy. So they need your reaction. They need your pain. They need your suffering in order for them to continue to thrive. So you stop giving them what they need, and they will go and find it somewhere else because they cannot feed on you anymore. Does that make sense? Big section on narcissistic abuse, Nicola. Yeah, nice. Yeah, Evie, thank you. Yeah, it's fine. I'm fine. I'm a badass bitch now because of that guy. But yeah, he was horrible. He's a psychopath. I'm actually surprised he hasn't killed anyone. Building self-worth, not enough in the past. Thank you so much. You're so welcome, Tom. Sending you so much love, so much light, so much blessing. Just remember, you got a spiritual team behind you. Ask for their guidance. And another thing I just want to point out, this is very important. This is something that's in your bloodline, okay? But like it said here, just as you have the curses and the lessons in your bloodline, you also have the gifts and the luck. So call forth your ancestors, your family lineage to give you that support, to give you the strength, to give you the luck to get through this. Nicola, why did I move to LA? Well, I'm an actor. So I moved to LA to act. Didn't I, Peanut? But really, I came to LA to buy Peanut. Well, I didn't buy him. I rescued him. Yes, some lady wanted to dump you at the shelter. Again. She did, didn't she? I said, no. I said, no. And then Peanut's my baby. Yeah, can I have a kiss? You give me kisses. Sorry. I'm obsessed with him. Okay. Thank you, Tom. Best of luck, my love. Yay. And you got the support here, Tom. Absolutely. Everybody, thank you so much for speaking up about your own stuff, helping out. This is so important, right? That's what we're here for, to help each other. Okay, Naomi, you're next, my love. Did you tell him, Peanut? Did you tell him how cute you are? Yeah. We got mommies. I love that. Not in the mouth. I love you so much. All right, so I'm waiting for Naomi. I'm supposed to be typing. Ooh, that cracked. And say hi. You love the camera. My other dog's a lot more shy. Peanut loves the camera. He loves being in front of the camera. Yeah, we just did a commercial, didn't we, this weekend? And you were so good. Will I be doing this every Sunday? Yeah, hopefully. I mean, I was trying to do Thursdays, but I picked up a side gig at the moment. I'm doing lives on TikTok, guys. I'm selling on TikTok Shop, which I actually really like. So it might be Sundays now. Oh, that's nice. Nicola said to message her that she can suggest some really good lawyers, Tom. He does bring out, well, animals do, Christina. My incredibly nurturing, loving, kind, gentle side. Animals bring it out in me, 100%. Because they make me feel safe. Yeah. Yeah. Because they love me. Leave the rats alone. No, no, no. Okay, Naomi, are you still there, my love? Maybe she stepped out for a minute. I'll give it a couple of more minutes, and then if Naomi doesn't message back, I will move on to Light, and then I'll check up on Naomi again. Oh, there she is. Okay, yay! What's your question, love? You're next. Okay. Sure. So you just want a general, like, do you have a specific question around your family? No, you can't go down, Peanut. The rats are down. You have to eat it here. Here. Relax. Here. Look at it here. I'm estranged at the moment from most. Oh, I'm sorry. Man. I get you. I've been having some interesting talks with my mom recently, so let's see what comes up then. So, is there anything specific that you want to know, or just a general around the situation? Itchy nose. Okay. Peanut, stay. If you want to be in here, you can't be any of the rats because you will kill them, and that would be a tragedy. You like watching the cards pop out? um, Interesting. Okay. Sorry. So these cards, for some reason, take a little bit longer. It's the type of cards that I ordered. Okay, I guess it's one. Oh, okay. These guys want to come out. Family. Hi, Munchkins. Come here. Excuse me, that's not the toilet. Ugh, whatever. That's what happens when you have animals roaming around. Okay. The wise ones are here to encourage you to deepen your knowledge and expand your understanding. This is a time for study, reflection, and self discovery. The wisdom you seek is not only for you, but also to share with others. Trust in your ability to learn, grow, and teach. Your path of knowledge is a sacred journey. Embrace it with an open heart and mind. And you got the lovers cards, immediate relationship, carefully weighed decision, good health. And then you got two major arcanas here. The need to balance and moderate cooperation and compromise. Wait for the perfect timing. Okay. So, what I'm getting here, Naomi, is that this is actually very important because you're actually not just helping yourself through this, but you're actually helping them a lot, even though you don't think you are. By separating yourself, what you're essentially doing is giving everybody the opportunity to look at themselves as opposed to blame each other or point the finger at each other, right? So when it comes to families breaking apart, I always feel like it's important to still find a way to come back together, but you first need to take time for yourself, grow, learn, expand, get the knowledge that you need to do, get the healing, and then come back as the best version of yourself. Now, I understand this with family because my family brings out the worst in me. Like, I am a fucking demon around my parents. I have a lot of triggers, a lot of trauma. I'm trying so hard to heal everything that I can with this situation because I think it's important. And I think you're kind of seem to be in a very similar situation. But what I did find is that when I removed myself and prioritized my needs and my safety, because I don't feel safe around my family, when I learned the tools and the tactics on how to manage them under my control, under my terms, and not in a controlling way, right? I answer the phone, I talk or whatever, but I'm very in a controlled environment within. If I'm in a shitty mood, I'm not going to answer the phone because then it's going to end up in a fight. So once I learned that, and I learned how to speak languages and how to do like languages in like how to speak properly with my mom without letting her play her mind games, I always walk away winning the conversation. And whereas before, it would always end up with me being upset or angry or something like that. So I feel like this is the skills that basically I'm hearing that you need to develop over this time, but not just you, obviously them, but we cannot expect them to do the work. And so that's the hard part, right? So the hard part is that we hope that they're smart enough, caring enough, and willing enough to do the work as well. But sometimes they're not. But oftentimes what happens is when you remove yourself from the situation, like I said, they have no other choice but to look at themselves now. And so in a way, you're kind of teaching him for them to really like, I can't fight with her, so who the fuck am I going to fight with now? Myself or that, or I'm going to blame it. But eventually it's going to get old, right? And they're going to have to really sit there and think about it. And that happened with my mom, right? Because she knew that I removed myself from the situation. When I finally told her why, you know, she didn't respond well to it, because, you know, you can't expect them to go, oh yeah, epiphany, obviously. Like, no, they're still going to react like they're 5. But she started to see it from a different perspective, because we weren't so charged up anymore, and we weren't doing the old back and forth tennis. You know what I mean? Like, I hit you, you hit me. I hit you, you hit me. Now it's like, passing you the ball, what are you going to do with it? You know? So they have time to process. Um, I get back to this card, but the good thing here is that it says that the timing, there will be a time that you're going to come back. I don't think this is completely over, even though it probably felt like that, or it was like a very dramatic probably ending, maybe. I don't know what happened. But the need to balance and moderation and cooperation and compromise, waiting for the perfect timing. So time, you need time to heal. Again, you need time to process, you need time to rebalance yourself, feel safe within your own energy. You know, for me, it took me at least 2 or 3 years. I distanced myself from, I mean, my dad is a whole other story, but like with my mom for sure, because I used to be very close with her, and then she kept doing things that really hurt me. And so I was like, enough. And I told her the other day, I was like, Mom, I need to be in an environment where I'm actually like in a healthy family environment, and you guys don't know what that is, and I don't expect you to, but I need that, and I deserve that. And if you want to keep being toxic, you go and have fun. Enjoy your toxicity. But I'm not going to be a part of it anymore. It doesn't mean that I cut her out anymore now. It doesn't mean that sorry guys, the rats want to come and say hi, by the way. You come and say hi? I can hear you. I know. You can't be up here. The peanut's up here. So I'm just listening, because there's more to this, and I'm feeling something about learning self-love. So one of the things that I started doing, just so you guys know, about family as well, it's a fucking hard one, family, because partly we incarnated into this lifetime, we chose our family, and I really do believe this, even though some of them really suck. Because they had the right ingredients, but oftentimes, you know, it's just because up there we have a very different relationship than we do with them here. And so sometimes I try to look at them from that perspective. And when I have an issue with my family, what I've been doing is, one day they're going to go. Okay, one day everybody's going to die. And I tend to have a lot of conversations with the spirit, because time doesn't really exist. You got to remember this. Their spirit is already out there. So I have a lot of conversations with my dad, who's, love him, but he's just, in a way, here, gone. And so I can't have that relationship with him here, so I have it with him up there. And what I've noticed now, when I do speak with him, there's no anger, there's no resentment, there's none of that left, because I have created this bond with him in some other reality, which is probably the more real than the one down here. I tell him all the things, because I can see him already dying and regretting, and his spirit coming to me and like, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, I know, I fucking told you. Like, you were terrible, but you know, you had a chance and you blew it. But at the same time, you know, so not having that anger and that resentment, because that anger and resentment at the end of the day never creates anything great. It's probably right. I'm sure you've been going through something. Peanut, I need you to stop, my love, and you're not playing with the rats. But at the same time, it's not about being right or wrong anymore. It's about doing the right thing. And I don't know how to explain that in such a way. It's like, when we think about doing the right thing, it's like, oh, justice. No, justice has nothing to do with it. Doing the right thing is like, at the end of the day, when you die, are you going to regret this? And for me, I will, if I don't try to fix it with my parents. But if you're sitting there, you go, nah, I'm good, man, then that's absolutely fine. You know, so you really got to sit with yourself and look in the future, because then at the end of the day, it's like, 20 years time, is this really going to matter? And again, we want them to get it. We want them to be better. We want them to be smarter. They're not. So again, with relationships, guys, if you're not happy, if you're in a bad relationship, you got to ask yourself, knowing that this person's never going to change, am I going to be okay with it? So the only thing that you can change is yourself. So how do you change, Naomi? Is by healing yourself, empowering yourself, giving yourself tools where you don't get triggered, not giving them the power anymore, not giving them any value. And I mean this in a very respectful way. Like I love my parents and up to a point, but at the same time, I don't need their fucking approval. I don't really care about their opinions. And I am sorry, but like you guys didn't, you did the best that you could, but what you did wasn't what I needed. And I was really fucked up because of you. So I know you still try in your own way to love me, but you never tried to love me the way that I needed love, and they just keep hurting me. They just keep doing shit that just doesn't work out, and it's okay. At the end of the day, I just have no expectations left. And so when my mom does her games, now I've learned how to communicate in such a way where I keep the peace, but I had to do a lot of healing. I had to do the work. And I always wanted her to do the work. And she did do some work, by the way. I'm going to give my mom a lot of fucking credit. Like, she did work on herself a lot, and she did a lot of good stuff. But she's a very fearful, anxious person. And again, you can look at them kind of like wounded children who never really did the inner work. And that's okay. Again, you got to be like, all right, it's just, you got to accept it for what it is. I was always the rescuer trying to fix them, trying to repair them. They don't want to be fixed. They like being damaged. I'm like, all right, my dad's an alcoholic, and he's just never admitted that he's an alcoholic. He's drunk every time I talk to him. So you're like, all right, well, what can you do? And it hurts. It's not like I'm completely like happy and hunky-dory about it. But so essentially this is what I'm hearing here, right? So sorry, I'm trying to share a little bit here because I'm like, the acceptance part is really the key here. Because as long as we keep hoping them to change and repair themselves, we're always going to be disappointed. Don't go and try and get healing from the person that hurt you. Something I heard recently, which I really loved. So knowing that this is going to be the reality, how can you empower yourself, do the healing, do the work, and when the time is right, when you feel ready, then start trickling back in. And knowing that you're not going to get what you want from them. So the only thing that you can seek is essentially like that connection, that relationship, if that's what you value and want. And I do. I value it. I'm just not going to get it the way I want it. So I keep it as healthy as possible for me. What do you think, Peanut? Yeah. So does that help, Naomi? Sorry, I went on a rant there, but because I feel like there's a lot of information there that hopefully like really could give you some guidance in that department. There's something about lovers here. It's like this situation is influencing also other relationships, right? And I feel like what you really deep down want is a very healthy, loving relationship, a deep connection. And sometimes people just don't know how to do that. And I feel like there's that disappointment. But I got it with my husband's family, so once I healed myself, I manifested it in other ways. So in the end, I really did get what I wanted, right? Just not from my family, from another family. And so again, you can achieve that for yourself by healing yourself and by doing the work. You can have that. It's just not going to be maybe through your own family. It could be through another family. But it goes to show that there are good families out there and that there is a lot of healing and love, and you're totally worthy of that, by the way. So do you have any more specific questions, by the way, that I can answer? Does Peanut have any specific questions? Am I a good mommy? Do you feel loved? No. You don't feel loved by me, Peanut? My mom had the same doggy and her name was Peanut. Ah, yeah, I rescued Peanut. His name was already Peanut. I kept it because he looks like a peanut. Ignore Peanut. Do you feel loved by mommy? Don't ignore me. I think he's 2.5, 3 maybe. I don't know how old you are. I'm a bad mom when it comes to that. I forget how old I am, so that makes me feel any better. Okay, Naomi, so I don't see you asking any more questions, so we're going to move on, but I send you the best of luck and love, my friend. Light, it's your turn. Can I put you outside, please? Can I focus on this and can you not bark at people? Mr. Show Off. The rats want to come up for a bit. Okay. Hi, Jacqueline. I need some general guidance, please. I am going through a difficult time at the moment and have a lot of big life decisions to make, and I am feeling quite overwhelmed. I am trying to have faith in everything will work out, but at the moment it's difficult. Oh, I'm so sorry, love. Okay, so let's see what comes up. My cards are popular today. Peanut. If you try to get off, I'm going to put you outside. That's the agreement. So I'm going to get more cards because I feel like this is going to be a... Ooh, finally. These guys want to come out. Okay. All right. I feel like that's good. Yes, Peanut, can I help you, please? Could be a nice boy, and can you relax, please, and go to sleep? Okay, thank you. Okay, so a couple of things came up. So one of them was about you need to bringing a little bit more joy in your energy. I feel like obviously you're feeling really like shit, which is obvious because you're going through something really bad. But there's a need to have a little bit more fun, a little bit more play. And I know it's like, well, what do you mean? I'm like going through a crappy time and I'm supposed to like just go out and fucking have fun. Yeah, actually, yeah. Because your energy is being so heavy right now that I feel like it's going to affect, it could even affect your health a little bit. So you don't want to have so much stress in your body, in your system. I'm even feeling like, I don't know if you're into dancing or movement or something, like you just, this stagnant energy in your system needs to be released somehow, okay? So the other thing that I'm also feeling here is that you're being very distracted by other things that are happening, right? Obviously, there's so much going on, and it's kind of taking your attention away from something else, from like a goal or from like a purpose. And so, what I'm essentially hearing here is that it's very important if you can bring your focus back to that goal, to that thing that gave you joy, that gave you drive, even though your reality is not reflecting that. Again, dude, I know it's like, oh, it's been affecting your lower back. Yeah, because everything is on your on. I've had so many lower back issues, dude. Um, feel you. So, uh, but again, the movement, right? Releasing that stagnant energy, but it's also like you're. Okay, sorry. I thought my rat was humping something. I've never seen a rat hump something before. It wasn't. Um, so, but I'm feeling again all these distractions, right? It's almost like okay. I almost feel like you're being attacked energetically, if that's even a thing. I feel like there's all these negative energies that are like distracting you from your light, from your purpose, from your goal, and it's like trying to sabotage basically something to get to somewhere. So I never had that one before, but that's a new one. Then you got the silkies. Okay, so the silkies are here to remind you to be kinder to yourself during this time. There is a deep need for self love, even if you're unsure of how to begin. Remember, self love is a journey you can learn Through this process, you will discover what you truly want and need. In turn, your heart will open to greater healing and fulfillment. So again, this is about refinding your light. And I feel like, honestly, I know this is going to be a tough one to say. Sometimes, guys, I want a lot of you to think of this. Sometimes when you look back at the worst thing that ever happened to you at the hardest time of your life, that's when you did the most amount of growth. And that's when you actually look back, and you probably will be grateful for it. And I know it's a hard one to say. Like I said, I had this, just giving an example, like if I look at my childhood and I was like abused, abandoned, beaten up, tortured at times, I'm actually grateful for that, because now I can look back and go, I've learned so much because of that. I became the person that I am. And yeah, there's a part of me also, of course. Hey, Ninja. Oh, sorry, guys. Good to know. Sorry, I have a mic problem with some of the hamsters, and I just realized one of my hamsters, he's got a rash. Issue with having like 600 animals in the same room. Okay, so then the other thing, so this is essentially going to help you, light energy meditation, to help you find your light again, even though you are in the dark right now. The other thing that I got is the Galactic Paladins are here to awaken the warrior spirit, to remind you of your inner strength. You are being called to rise above challenges with courage and resilience. This is not a time to see yourself as a victim, but as a warrior, ready to face life head on. Trust in your power. Stand tall in your truth, and know that bravery is not an absence of fear, but the willingness to move forward despite it. The choice to rise is yours. So I feel like, again, it's through these tough times that we really discover who we are sometimes. And yes, we're going to have our moments of collapsing. Yes, we're going to have our moments of crying. And that is not a weakness, by the way. That is strength. Sometimes saying, fuck it, I give up, I can't fucking do this anymore. That's sometimes what we need to do. And then once we get down, get back up. How do I get back up? What do I need to heal? How can I fix this? What do I need to do for myself to love myself despite what's happening to me? The other thing that I'm hearing is self-talk is very big with you. Okay, so this card also symbolizes, by the way, memories resurfacing. And it's about releasing any old patterns, but it's the water witch. So the water witch is essentially using and working with the waters in your body. So healing that negative programming, the waters, right? So how can you work with the waters in your system? There's a little spell that you can do, light energy, by the way, that this might help you. So one thing that I actually did this recently in a meditation. So what I've been doing essentially is, like, I tend to get jars of water, and I tend to channel energy and information into them, and then I drink that water. So right now, if you're going through a lot of depression, a lot of negativity, how would you like to see yourself through this situation? Who would you like to be, the warrior that you would like to be in this situation? Empowered, strong, you can face anything, but not in such a way where it's like, I'm taking on everything. In such a way as like, I can get through this. I'm going to get through this. Whatever it is that you need to tell yourself. And then you can write a letter to yourself or what you desire and put it on a glass, a jar. And then I did again on one of my meditations on my YouTube channel, where I did a ritual at the owl's nest. And then you channel that energy into that water. It's actually going to come out also on Inside Time. I think I did a meditation with that. Then you drink that water every single day. So you're drinking that frequency, that intention. So there's a lot of things that are coming up here that I feel like that you need help with, right? So the different levels, because there is so much going on. And the other thing I'm hearing, that this is a cycle and it will end. So there's good news at the end. And in fact, I did get a good card. Okay, there is light at the end of the tunnel. There is something good coming. Thank you, Hannah. But right now, like I said, it's just the darkness. So it's a situation, it's a phase that you're going through, and for some reason it's happening. But I do feel like by the end, it's honestly, you're gonna look back and you go like, fuck me, I was a badass bitch that I got through that. but also you're going to be like, learn so much. There's a lesson here for some reason, which sucks because I wish it could be like a nice way to experience this freaking lesson. But the point is, sometimes suffering brings out these parts of us that we would have never known or reached into unless we were going through that darkness, right? Yes, the cycle I resonate with. Yeah. Oh, good. So essentially what they're saying is, listen, my love, don't give up. So this situation, by the way, will end, and you are now free. New opportunities for happiness will follow. Okay, so this will end, and then you can begin to plant new seeds. Okay, so it's like a reboot almost, like you're going through some kind of a reboot, and it's going to give you opportunities to start afresh. And I know it's going to feel like you're going to be lost and you're going to feel like you've lost everything or whatever the feeling is going to be, but it's just a new blank canvas for you to start creating and manifesting from scratch. And then I do see love and blessings, okay? So I do see a happy ending, a rainbow at the end. There's going to be some love. There's going to be some unity. There's possibly even like a relationship. So there's good things coming out of this, even though right now I know I can sit here and tell you this and you're like, they don't feel like it. Okay, so just stay strong through it. Bring out the warrior energy, and use those rituals that I told you, because it's really going to help you. Just, how can I be my best friend through this shit? How can I be my healer through this crap? How can I be my warrior through this situation, and channel those energies and receive guidance from them to get you through this? Yeah. So I hope that helped, love. I think he has the mites. One of these guys has mites. Ugh. What? Do you have mites? Did you bring the mites in here again? Yeah, you did. Don't you lie, Peanut? He's saying no. Yeah, he did. You brought the mites in here. You brought the little mites. All right. Thank you. That was so helpful. I appreciate your guidance. Oh, anytime, light energy meditation. Sending you so much love, my love. I'm so sorry you're going through this, but hopefully it'll make sense by the end of it. I'm sure it will. It just feels like that right now. Okay, CG, you're next, my love. Peanut? No. I don't think so. Okay, I'm going to put you down. You can go back downstairs with your brother. You go downstairs with your brother. You go and play with me. Hi. Reading. I'm doing a live. I'll be down in about half an hour. Love you. Demon's coming down. My husband finished work early, so good. Okay, CG, are you here, my love? I would like a general please, whatever needs to come up. Okay. Speaking of lower back. Okay. Maybe because I'm so connected to my own cards, they just keep coming up, but... Aw, thank you, Hannah. No, I didn't see your last comment. I'd like to give my reading to Nicola. Aw, that's so sweet. Okay, well, Nicola, I will give you your reading after... Oh, that's so sweet. So after CG, I'll give you a reading, Nicola. You're so sweet, Hannah. I appreciate you. So I'm just channeling Siji's energy right now. Just allowing the cards to... Wait, okay. Relax, everybody. Jeez Louise. They're like, no, no, no. Okay. Oh, interesting. Hmm. So the first card you got is the Green Witch. The Green Witch essentially is about connection to energies, but mostly actually to nature. So they are asking you to look for signs which may come from Mother Nature herself. She is always speaking to you. The question is, are you listening? They are trying to tell you something, and when you listen, you will know when to take action. There is also a deep connection to animals as they are family. So when it comes to animals as well, it could be like symbols. So if you see like a crow, or if you see like you keep seeing the same symbol around. So what this card essentially is telling me, CG, basically, is that you're getting some signs and you're not really listening, or you're maybe brushing them off, or you're not taking them as seriously. You saw a crow yesterday. Amazing. So what this card is basically saying is that the universe is trying to connect with you and give you signs, and I think you're kind of missing them. Maybe you're just too busy, or maybe you're just like anxious, or something's going on, like your focus is somewhere else, and you're having all these signs around you, and essentially they want you to start paying attention. So just keep an eye out. And when you see things like a crow or whatever, like look up the meaning, because it's going to mean something. Sorry, I'm worried about my hamsters. We've had a mite issue for quite some time, and they just keep coming back. It's impossible to kill mites, by the way. Then you got the forest fairies remind you to stay true to your nature and walk your own path, even when it feels easier to follow the crowd. Oh, you're planning a retreat next month. There you go. So you're probably going to get a lot of signs then. You are meant to live authentically, not to fit into expectations that do not align with your soul. Follow what fills your heart and fuels your purpose. At this time, be mindful of self-sabotaging behavior that may be holding you back. Trust yourself. Are you okay, honey? I can see you. Do you want to come here? All right. Trust yourself. Oh, sorry, I know I lost the thing. Sometimes be mindful of self-sabotaging behavior. Trust yourself, embrace your uniqueness, and allow your spirit to flourish freely. This message is so UCG. I love that. So again, maybe you've been having, I feel like, you have a lot of self-awareness and you are doing everything, but it's also sometimes a good reminder. I was staring at my tree friend outside. My tree friends outside. Lol. Yes, trees are very wise. By the way, you can get a lot of downloads from trees. So what they're saying is, yes, it is tough. It is hard. It is sometimes lonely. It is difficult. But it is going to be worth it. And just to remind you that you are doing the right thing. You are standing tall, despite what everybody else is doing or telling you maybe to do. Then you got the star. People are here to remind you of your innate ability to heal and access deep wisdom. You are highly sensitive to the energies around you, and this is a gift, not a burden. Trust in your highest mind, which is always connected to the greater cosmic intelligence. The answers you seek are already within you. You just need to listen, tune into your intuition, and allow your inner knowingness to guide you. So twice here again. So what I'm hearing here really, CG, as well, is like you're not trusting yourself as much as you think you are. There is parts of you, and this is normal, right? We all have these moments where we have moments of self-doubt, or we question ourselves, or we question our intuition. And I'm going to give you guys a little story here because this is going to make a little bit of sense to you. I booked a short film with this person, and I've been getting some red flags here about this person, that their intentions aren't exactly just about shooting a film. There are deeper intentions behind it, like living vicariously by hiring pretty actresses. And I met the person, and then there was other signs, and like again, I'm sitting here going, yeah, but maybe I'm making judgments, and I'm like, no, you know exactly what's happening, and you're questioning yourself because this is an old pattern that you used to do. You used to always give people the benefit of the doubt, and then you always end up being freaking right. And then at whose expense? Mine. Okay? So I feel like there's a little bit of this going on with you, right? So whenever these things come up, really sit with yourself and listen and take a time to meditate. You have the ability, CG, to receive guidance, and I think you're very connected, actually. You're quite intuitive. So the problem is, though, like I said, it's again missing those signs, right? You get the signs and then we just sometimes brush them off as a coincidence, and we don't take the weight of them. We just see, oh, that was a sign, cool, and then you just keep going on, as opposed to really like thinking and feeling and processing what's really going on here. And then the unicorn card came up. Again, this is about the power of love, one that is free, unconditional, and not rooted in ownership or control. So again, this is about freeing yourself from these expectations, from these rules, from these things, and really just being who you really are. Okay, I'm glad you said that, because I do feel like that. I can sense things about people, and then I'm like, don't judge. But someone tells me I'm right about them. Dude, we all freaking judge. Okay. And the truth of the matter is that if you know yourself well enough, you know that you too have dark intentions. We all do. The difference is some of us are healed and make a better choice. Other of us make the weaker choice. And unfortunately, most people make a weak choice. So they might not mean to be bad. They might not even be aware that they're being bad. But they're still being fucking bad. They hurt somebody else. They deceive. They lie. They're not being upfront. They go about getting things roundabout ways. We all do it. Judging, I feel like it's more, I don't like that group of people because they're that race, or because they're women, or because they're men, because she's wearing this or she's wearing that. But we all have our moments. I freaking catch myself all the time making judgments, but there's a big difference between intuitive information and judgment. I'm getting intuitive downloads based on facts, feelings, and signs. I didn't make a judgment about this person based on when I met them first and I saw their looks. That's not how it worked, So you got to remember that. And then we put ourselves down because we're like, oh no, I'm being judgmental. It's like, no, dude, you've gotten signs. Like, this person wanted to meet me, and I'm thinking they want to meet me to have, to talk about the project. And they're like, we're spending 2 hours talking about me and my life and kiss-assing me. Clearly, it's not about the project, is it? A professional would not do that. They don't waste time, right? And I can sometimes, even in my thing, I can still be, I'm human. I make mistakes. I let people get away with things. And then later the fact I was like, that was not right. And the worst part, guys, if you continue to let the person get away with it, that's when it gets really bad. So you got to put your foot down at that point and trust yourself completely, because I'm not losing anything. I'm losing like a job, an acting job, maybe that doesn't even pay like crazy amounts of money. Who fucking cares? I'm going to get another one anyway, right? So when we hold on to these things, it's because there's a fear behind it that either we're wrong, we're going to miss out on something, we could get something out of it that we can't get out from somebody else. So then we put ourselves in these situations and we put up with the crap. But an abundant mindset is like, you're wasting my fucking time. Which he was. So does that make sense? So essentially what I'm hearing here overall for UCG is really about, again, maybe this is the point of today, is really like, stop judging yourself maybe so much and listening to your own intuition, start listening to the signs, trusting yourself. And again, just because we receive the downloads, it doesn't mean that you have to act upon it. You can get evidence. But take a mental note, right? If you get a download on somebody and you're like, ooh, I'm getting this bad thing about this person, mental note, writing it down. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to shun them or whatever. But like with this person, I'm going to have very solid boundaries. And if this person like shows certain signs, I'm cutting it out so fast. Because I have a pattern of attracting these type of situations. And maybe he's the nicest person on the planet. I don't know. But the point is, I have like that one more red flag and I'm gone. And it will happen if you're right. It will happen. So you just keep these things in mind for yourself to protect yourself. And then when the sign shows up, that's when it's the right time to take action and do the right thing. I've been in similar situations just not listening to my intuition. Yeah, we all do it. Absolutely. And I had a past because I had a lot of my daddy issues because I wanted a dad, and I looked through it through older men because I desperately wanted a dad. And so I would always end up in friendships with older men because I also enjoyed older people in general because I resonated with older people. But of course, me being 20 something, I didn't understand that these people did not have the same intention that I had. And then, of course, I get myself in this situation where it was so awkward, so bad. And all I wanted was to have a dad, to have a friend dad, you know. Now, obviously, I look back and I'm like, you're a freaking idiot. But when you're 20 or something, you don't know any better. So you live and learn. Luckily, nothing ever happened in those situations, but could have gone really bad. All right, CG, does that make sense? Is there anything else I can help you with? Oh, my hamsters are driving me nuts. I actually thought that earlier today, that I needed to spend more time in meditation and with my higher self. So these are the things that I'm talking about. The fact that you even had this thought and you didn't follow through with it. That's what they're trying to tell you. That's already a sign in itself. Okay, so when I get downloads, I always listen to them now. So if I get a download, it's like, you need to do a ritual about this, done. You need to start doing mirror work, done. You need to start doing affirmations, like, done. I might not do it today, but I'll do it tomorrow. Okay, so I take a mental note. There's a reason why I received that information, and I need to follow through with it. I've been busy and just noticed that I haven't had much time to connect. So yeah, absolutely. And the other thing is, like, make the time. It's like brushing your teeth, right? I hate it when people say, and I get it because I'm really busy too, but if something comes up and keeps coming up, then you have to make the time for it. Okay, so I've got one more. So now we've got Nicola. Thank you to Hannah, who got your... Yes, this is a... Thanks for... Oh, you're welcome, YR. Kate, I will get to your question in a second. I'm currently doing donations, so if you could copy that and just paste it in a minute after I give Nicola a reading, I will pay attention to your message. So what is your question, Nicola? And this is the final donation, and then I'll take quick questions, and anybody who don't have to give a donation, of course, if you want to, you're more than welcome to. But no more donations for the longer readings because I got to go. Okay, you want just a general? Okay, so let's see what comes up. So Kate, if you have a question, just give me a minute. Because I got to take care of these hamsters. They're having issues. I know, I use stuck, love. Ooh! You know what the irony of that timing, by the way? Because it was a card about breaking free. I gave Peanut to my husband. My husband just got home, so he's downstairs. He's in safe hands, don't worry. All right, my love. So are you ready? Nicola. Oh, you just wanted to check in, Kate. Sure. Just give me a second, just because I'm doing a reading and it keeps popping up. Please copy it, and when I'm done with Nicola, just paste it again so I can read it, because the thingy goes up and then I can't read it again. You can break free, Nicola. Make a courageous choice to change your situation. You're not seeing things clearly, okay? So a lot of the things that are happening with you, Nicola, is basically that a lot of them are you repeating the same patterns, the same beliefs, the same thoughts. So you're basically stuck in a loop. So there's a little bit of victim mentality here, and I don't mean it in a negative way. I've been there myself, but sometimes we're not aware that we're doing that. So it's like I said, I have this thing where I always feel like people don't like me, or that I end up, and then it's manifesting in real life, right? Where people actually do not invite me to things, and then I'm like, fuck, dude, like, what the hell? But if I feel and see that about myself, maybe this is an opportunity for me to maybe look at myself and go, okay, do I need to fix something? Do I need to fix actually something about myself because maybe I'm not likable? Or do I need to fix the way I see myself? Right? So there are things that I can begin to do. So essentially what I'm hearing is that stop giving everybody else the power here. When you own things, when you start taking responsibility for everything and not punishing, very big difference. It's not about I'm bad and I'm wrong and I'm this, okay? It's about, if I owned this and this isn't anybody else's fault, how could I change it? What can I do to change and transform this situation? Powerful psychic insights, reflecting on meditation that provides valuable information. Be at peace. So what I'm hearing here essentially is that you have psychic abilities in the sense of you do receive downloads, you do receive guidance, you are very sensitive, right? So when you listen And one of the things that I'm getting big time with you is meditation. You need to start meditating a lot more. Spillover from abuse, I have no time to heal. Yeah, I understand, my love. You do tide 2 times a day. I love it. Okay, amazing. So keep doing the spiritual work, essentially. Keep working on yourself, because even though right now it may not feel like sometimes it feels like you're not getting anywhere. If you're going to look back in 2 or 3 years' time, you're going to do such leap and bounds because of this consistent healing and work that you're doing. And so I want you to first and foremost also acknowledge that and just be proud of yourself, the fact that you are taking these practices and the fact that you have been so wounded and hurt and you are doing the work, right? Most people don't do the work. They run away, they hide, they give excuses. You're doing the work, my love. So give yourself some grace and be kinder to yourself, because I think you're a little bit hard on yourself. I think you expect yourself to be already up here, but also you have to look where you came from and everything that you've been through. So already where you are is up here, but in your standards, you're down here for some reason, and that's not so. You want to do more artwork? Amazing. Then do it. Absolutely. Life is wonderful. Thrive through the power of positive thinking and inspired success. Okay. So what I'm getting here as well, I don't know if you do a lot of visualization, but they're saying visualization, affirmations are also very good to do. So essentially what I'm hearing here is you got to just basically change a little bit of some of your habits, right? So things that basically are about self-love, self-care, nurturing yourself, valuing yourself, giving yourself that attention. Yeah, scripting is good too. And I love affirmations. I do affirmations. And the next card, this is a beautiful one. Make a wish. Dreams come true. A joyful time in your life. So this card essentially really means use the power of manifestation. You have the ability to manifest things that you want, but you cannot manifest them as long as you keep being stuck in the old patterns, the old version of you, right? So when you're still feeling like you're not enough, like you're trapped, like you're wounded, which I'm sure these things are also true, by the way, but or let's just say you want to manifest money, but you still think and feel as a poor person, you have to change your inner world to match the outer world. Now, there's a time that the outer world is not going to reflect the inner world, but the outer world eventually will catch up. So when you what I'm hearing here ultimately is like spend time healing the inside, Nicola. Spend time healing your heart, your mind, self-love, do all the practices that we just talked about. And mirror work is extremely powerful. It helped me heal a lot of my eating disorder stuff when I was younger. So when you can look at yourself in the mirror and not hate yourself and not tear yourself apart and call yourself a piece of crap, you've done something right. And then of course my relationship started changing because of the relationship with myself started changing. Does that make sense? So at the end of the day, what's saying you have the power. Yes, we all need to love ourselves. Don't worry, we're all there. But that's absolutely it. Okay, so start becoming the version of you that you start already being the version of the you that you want to become, and then you're going to start seeing things in your life change, and then you're going to break free from those old patterns. And there's many layers, of course, so start with something that is doable, that is easier. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. Don't expect change to happen overnight. Just be consistent with it, and then over time, that's when the miracles start really happening. Okay. Yeah, go after your art, dude. Like, the beauty thing about art, you don't have to be any age to pursue it, to do it. That's the beauty of it. Just be yourself, my love. Whew. All right. So okay. So anybody else now, if you have any more questions, now it's the time. I know I asked somebody before to repost what they asked, or so now, okay, here we go. Amber, I've got a question about a guy I've been involved with for 10 years, had a sudden psychosis, mental breakdown. I went through an awakening. You went through it. Healing, I feel confused on whether I'm supposed to be with him still or if I have to let go of this relationship to move forward in soul mission. Okay. Let's see what comes up. We'll just ask for one card now. You're so welcome, Nicola. You got this, my girl. And guys, just remember, I do have a lot of courses on Insight Timer, so go and check them out. They're obviously free because you guys are an Insight Timer, so that's the beautiful thing about Insight Timer. I mean, you have the membership, but you know what I mean. It's totally worth it. I love Insight Timer. Are you feeling a little lost, dear one? The Mer fairies are here to gently guide you back to your path. Nothing ever is truly lost. You simply need time to reflect, process, and trust in divine timing. Clarity will come when you quieten your mind and allow the answers to flow. Be patient with yourself, and soon you will know exactly what to do. So I think that's pretty straightforward, Amber. I think it's essentially you want the answers right now, but right now is not the right time because you're still going through something else that's actually priority over your relationship. So what I'm hearing right now is that you're really going through some kind of obviously transformation, shift, emotional shift. Yes, Bubby. I don't have Peanut, but I do have the rats. So, hi, Peppa. Are you having fun? Yeah. Okay. So what I'm hearing here essentially is like, just be patient and don't, the answer will come at the right time, and you will know exactly what the right thing is for you to do. I'm always careful to observe and not observe. How might we handle situations when we sense someone is projecting or surveilling us or being parental? Let me try and understand that one. Sorry, YR. I'm actually careful to observe and not absorb. Okay, I'm with you now. Sorry. I love that. How might we handle a situation when we sense someone is projecting or surveilling us or being parental? I'm not sure what you mean by parental, but we can just ask the card and see what comes up. What are you doing, Munchkin? Oh, there we go. Sting, we're a kid and they are the adult in the situation. Okay. This is a weird one, but I think it has a metaphor because you got the kitchen witch, which is really to do with food, but I think if we interpret the fruit as energy, I think this will make sense. So the kitchen witches are here to remind you that food, but we're going to use energy, is magic, but it can also be poison. When you are eating or cooking, send healing energy to the food and listen to what it tells you. It's important to be more aware of what you are consuming. You may need to make some changes in your diet to nourish both your body and soul. So I'm not sure how that has to help us with this situation. The person is acting like we are the kid and they are the adult. Got it. But I feel like it is, maybe we need more cards here because I think it's to do with energy. Let me just kiss. But also maybe just be aware of what you're eating, guys. I don't know. But let's see if there's something else because the cards came out pretty strong. Okay. All right. So if a person is trying to be the parent, essentially trying to be the adult in the situation, even though they may not be, what I'm hearing here is they're seeking a lot of validation. So I think what is helpful here, and this is making sense now, when you look at them, don't look at them for their age, look at them for their energy. And understand what they're trying to get from the situation and how maybe you can help them receive it without them trying to force it. So sometimes this person might need a lot of validation, but you also don't want to validate them in such a way where their ego gets blown up and then they just empathy, I'm right kind of thing, right? So you obviously being the wiser one, it's almost like you have to outsmart them in this situation, and somehow help them. It's almost like they have to come to that conclusion themselves, but without pushing it too hard. So it's almost like gently nudging them towards self-awareness in this situation. Mm. It's also like you got the snake people card, which is a lot to do with like family lineage, family traumas, family karmatic things in the past. We also carry, like, again, this is the card of like carrying. So this is like karmatic patterns in the family bloodline stuff. So I don't know if this is related to it, but that also came up. Cool. I'm the eldest person, but they are interacting with me as if I'm subordinate or a kid. My awareness and experience is not validated. I validate myself so that I'm not being sought. Yeah. So again, that's a lot of the time like what I'm hearing here is like, again, it's like energy, right? So instead of seeing that, see the energy behind the intention, why they need to do that, because you might be a threat. And a lot of the time somebody who's might be older or younger, they might not like the situation that they're in, right? So instead of like reacting the old way, you got to change your reaction to the situation so that you can get what you want. But just see it for what it is and not for how it feels sometimes, because then we're like, then our ego gets involved, right? So again, like I always say, it doesn't always have to be right. It just has to be. It doesn't mean that you have to be right. It just means that like I don't know the word for it. It doesn't have to be fair. That's probably the better word. It's not going to be fair. It's more about what's the right thing. Yes, and sometimes reaction's needed. You know, don't also be aware of that. But just for now, just react, get information, and then, um, and then you will know what to do over time. But this is something that I think you're absorbing and learning. You're watching and learning, because this is something that you're going to utilize later in life for sure. I saw somebody had a question. How do you do this and not get stressed? I feel like a lot to take in. Christina, thank you so much. Um, no, I don't get stressed. I feel like I started reading tarot when I was 10. So, and I designed my own deck. So I feel like I was built to do this. I'm also not afraid of intensity. I'm built for intensity. I'm built for deep communications and emotions, and this is actually very helpful for me as well. It can get a little tiring sometimes. I mean, we've been here for like 2 hours, but I'm being of service, and there's nothing more beautiful than being of service, than being able to connect with beautiful souls, to be able to hopefully help people. And when you're of service, when you're doing something that is in alignment with who you are and your truth, it's empowering, it's healing, it's beautiful. But if it doesn't feel right, then definitely don't do it. You know, I mean, like me as a waitress, absolute freaking disaster. I was like, I am the worst waitress on the planet. Okay, I am horrible. I'm mean. I am short tempered. I have no patience. So that's an example. That to me is very stressful. This is like second nature. But I'm also like in the right place for it, because we have an agreement. If I'm in a situation where people didn't ask for the wisdom and the situation, I'm just obnoxious and annoying, right? So I found a platform where I actually get to do and express my things, and where it's being received very openly, and that really does help. And that's also advice for you guys, right? Like if you're like me, who has like always likes to give advice, or always has like a ton of information and knowledge, but like I said, some people don't want to grow. They don't want to fucking know. They don't want to heal. They don't want to hear it. And so even though you could give them the best advice and exactly what they need to heal and transform, but it's not the right setting, your gifts are just going to be thrown in the trash. And you don't want that. you know. It's an oracle deck, but it's 50 cards. So it'll be 50 cards. I don't know why 50 came up. They wanted me to do 50. I think it's because of the number of change. So I wanted a deck of cards that essentially brought about change. So that's probably why I went with the number 50. It's also the number of realms that I've channeled. So yeah, how cute are they though? That's the back of the cards. That's what the cards look like. Yeah. So once they're out, I'll let you guys know, and hopefully you guys can get, if you want to support me, this would be a wonderful way to support me, to buy my cards. I will obviously make sure that you guys get a sale for them, and then you can hopefully just give me a nice review, because this is something that I've just worked so hard on. I'm so proud of, and I really, really hope that it's something that can help you as well, so you can give yourselves readings or every day and get information and downloads. I've done them. Every card I've channeled, everything is just, so... Cool. So does anybody else have any more questions before we close out? And if you don't want to see me lives here, I also do lives on TikTok now. I got a side gig where I sell jewelry, which, by the way, I freaking love it. Pavoy is the name of the company. So this is one of their items. It's so cute. So I've been doing that. And my other things, my acting. So I've been very busy, but it's been so nice and so fun. A little bit of change, and a little bit of steady income, which is nice for me, since I rely on surprise. Thank you. Yeah, and I'm finishing the book, so I'm hoping that I'll have the book out at the same time, but probably not. But that's okay, because, I'm one human. But we'll get there. All right. Yeah, so the Book of Realms is coming out with the Realm Oracle deck. So I'll give you guys a quick breakdown. Is it possible? Do I call out her behavior or set boundaries, or I wait till legal? Ooh, that sounds intense. Tom? Was it you, Tom, before? Same Tom? So the Book of... I wouldn't call out her behaviors, Tom, because if she's a narcissist, that never goes well, man. You just got to set boundaries and get the legal first. Get the legal, set boundaries. You don't need to call her out because she's not going to hear it. An abusive person does not know that they're being abusive. They're in complete denial and living in la la land. They think that they're the shit. So you can't get a narcissist to see that they're narcissistic. That's impossible. So do not call her out, because that's just going to make her act out. So the Book of Realms, essentially, guys, it's it's a whole thing. So I want you guys to think of the realms as kind of like astrology, right? Each one of us, our souls, belongs to a realm, or has spent a lifetime, several lifetimes in a different realm. So if we think about this reality, then it's multidimensional, right? So there's different versions of Jacqueline in different realities. So the realms are essentially archetypes, stereotypes, and so everybody has one realm that they belong to. There is 4 core realms, and then there's hybrid realms. So I'll give you an example. Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey is an incarnated angel. And the incarnated angels are the type of people who have a typical lesson of, they're very much love to help people. They're helpers. They love to people please. They tend to carry a little bit of extra weight physically. And then I designed essentially a whole thing about the realm. So I talk about the angelic realm. I talk about the incarnated angels. And then I give everybody healing tools. So essentially it's tools to help them heal and transform their life. So each card is based on a realm. So for instance, I'm a shapeshifter, not a shapeshitter. For those of you who know the joke, you know the joke. So I'm a shapeshifter. And so for instance, with me, I can get very stuck in my ways, even though my nature is to shift, to transform. But the positive side of that is I'm a jack of all trades, right? Literally, I can do this. I can go on TikTok. I'm an actor. I do this and I do that. I do a million things, right? But that's my nature. I like change. I like to try different things. I need that in order for me to thrive. Great entrepreneurs Then there's like the elementals, right? Those are the elves, the fairies, but there are different fairies. There's the mermaids. Um, there's there's the space people, the star people, right? So there's a whole other race around that. Um, there's what else is there? There's the Galactic Knights. There's the Knights Paladin. So each one will come with specific traits and lessons and uh, things. And so the book essentially goes into extreme depth about that. And then you can also, eventually, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to teach people how to become realm readers. So you can basically read somebody's realm just by looking at them. Essentially, a lot of it is to do with the eyes. And then you can read people, and so you can give readings. But then when you get the book with this, you can get like a whole lot more. There's incarnated dragons. So there's dragon people. And then I saw spirits that are going to incarnate in the future that I have not incarnated yet, because AI will eventually take over, and so new spirits are coming in. So yeah, it's a whole thing, guys. It's very complicated. It's not as easy. But I'm super excited about it. And let me see if I can get like there's witches, a lot of witches. The Aladdin genies, for instance. So the Aladdin genies are like, these are the kind of people that they have a lot of magic. They love to travel, always traveling, always changing locations. They love exotic things. They're obsessed with exotic things, but these type of energies, for instance, have a hard time settling down in relationships. Let's see another one. Flower fairies. So Ariana Grande, for instance, is a flower fairy. So I actually use examples of celebrities so people can actually like see it physically, what they look like. So they tend to be very, very petite, perfect complexion. They're very like shy, really. So even though she's a singer and stuff, I think who she is really, she's very shy, and they have a lot of actually low self-worth. So I think she's healed herself with a lot of the traumas and stuff, but she had that a lot back in the day. Incarnated vampires. So we have demons and vampires as well, by the way. They're not out yet. They will be out yet. And the jewelry store, it's Pavoy. It's actually on TikTok Shop. So I actually love the brand, by the way. So I have so much fun working with them. So incarnated vampires. So I don't know if you guys know, but there's people who actually identify as vampires. But there's also energetic vampires. We've all heard of energetic vampires, right? People suck your energy. So I talk a lot about these people as well. Then there's I actually went really deep because it's me. So aside from the demons, I went with shadow walkers. Shadow walkers tend to be serial killers. That's really like some of the darkest energies and frequencies that there are. And I talk a lot about these guys as well, because they're part of humanity. They're part of the balance of the world. And I find that a lot of the tarot avoid, I mean, not the tarot so much, but the oracle, because they're very much light. That's why it's kind of like, I feel like a little bit of tarot in here. But shadow walkers, I only know of one shadow walker who has healed themselves, but I'm sure there are others. It was some French guy who actually murdered somebody who was a cannibal. I know this is getting really dark very quickly, but this is the reality. And he basically built up self-awareness, and now he's a very successful, he got out of jail, he's a very successful artist, and he does a lot of like occult stuff and teaches people about demonology and all that sort of stuff, but he uses it actually for pretty good. And so that's an example of a shadow walker. But an unhealed shadow walker, we all know how that goes. And demons, for instance, is Adolf Hitler. He was a demon. So there are people who cause a lot of damage towards other people. I think I had other ones as well as a demon, but yeah, and they tend to be quite small in stature for some reason, the demons. Like Peanut. That's why I call him demon. So yeah, so it's a very interesting whole thing, you guys, and it's really about reading people's personalities and energies and karmatic patterns, and but it's like on a very, 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 very spiritual level. It's not so much on human level, although it's correlated. So it's very woo-woo. So for those of you who are really out there spiritually, I'm talking about the witches, the warlocks, the fairies, the ones who live on another dimension like me. This is going to be for you. You can obviously bring it down to this level. It's not like it's just for those kind of people, because there's a lot of wisdom in that. But if you were looking, essentially, I was looking to give something for the outcast, the people who don't fit in, for the people who don't feel like people understand them and they're in the spiritual closet. This is for you, because that's always been me, and I'm really out there spiritually. And I want people to have a safe space and a safe community to be able to see themselves, express themselves that way, and not be afraid to be as crazy and as wild as they want to be. So hopefully they'll build a community. I'm gonna work on it and I'll get to it. But once the cards are out, I'll let you guys know. And yeah, and that's it. So yeah, thank you, Laura Loni. I really hope so. I feel like I always felt different because I've always been super spiritual, and I think there's a lot, even in the spiritual community. There's like people still hold themselves a little bit more hidden. I do know of one person that I really love is Mia Magic. She's actually becoming really famous now. She's probably like one of the most famous witches. And yeah, I did some courses with her, and she's just her wild self and has non-apologetic. And so I love that about her. And I was like, I would love to create a community like that too. And so hopefully I'll get to that as well. And that's the idea behind it. So yeah, there are some really cool realms, guys. I have 50 realms right now that I've tapped into. I just talked about like very few, so you can imagine how some of the other ones are. There's like mystic angels, by the way. This is a very common one. They're like badass angels, like leather jackets, tattoos, but they're basically angels that have been here for a long time. They like to swear. So yeah, so there's so many, guys, that I know you will find your realm, and it's like finding your piece, your spiritual side home, and finding another piece of you that is in expressed a whole other way. It's like your fairy tales becoming true, basically, but it's also kind of real. Yeah, so I'm excited about it, you guys. So keep an eye out. I will probably make an announcement on Insight Timer, maybe, and do like a live where I get to do some readings or talk about it. I don't know if you guys are into that. So much on for you, Jacqueline. I can't wait to see what happens next, and I really want to read your book. Thank you. Yes, so I already have a couple of books out, by the way, guys. If you're interested, always look in my website. You'll find them there. There's some articles. I just did another article with Voyage LA, which I'm talking about the realms. So she's busy. She's keeping herself busy. But if not, I will make another time, hopefully next Sunday. I'm not quite sure yet, but I'm pretty sure I'll be here next Sunday, guys. So if you want a reading, make sure to come by, even just to hang out, have a cup of tea, chill with me on a Sunday. So grateful for your love, for your energy. I'm so honored that I get to channel for you and send you messages and hopefully help. This is just everything to me, and I thank you, Insight Timer, and even though they're not watching, maybe they are, who knows, for creating this platform. I really do like Insight Timer. There's something special about this company, I'm telling you guys, so you're in the right place. So I will be here, guys. Keep an eye out for all my stuff. Check out my website, my YouTube, but of course, all of my Insight Timer work. I've got a ton of courses, meditations, more things to come out. And before I close, I'm going to ask you guys something. So I want to create another course on Insight Timer. And if there's anything that you would like for me to create, now it's your time to request it. So it could be really anything about, I have one on self-worth. I have one on connecting with angels, finding love, and connecting with your spiritual team. So if there's anything that you would like me to create for you on Insight Timer, before we close out, I would love to hear it. If not, that's fine. But I just thought I would ask. Healing from abuse. Ooh, that's a good one. A little bit tricky with Insight Timer, though, because they often require certificates for a lot of that stuff, because I did do one meditation, which was amazing for healing father wound, but they would not allow me to post it because I did not have a certificate, even though it's one of my most viewed on my YouTube channel. Unemployed angels, that's a good one. Yeah. Witch wound. Yes, I did think about the witch wound. Thank you. That's a good one too. Yeah, so witch wound and unemployed angels. That's a good one, guys. Yes, Lornie, I would love to, honestly. Learning who to trust. Nice one, Tom. I appreciate that. That's beautiful. Yes, thank you, guys. See, such beautiful ideas, you guys. Love, love. I would be interested in the witch wound. That's interesting. Yes. Okay. Amazing. I do have a meditation, by the way, on the witch wound, guys. So go and check it out. And I just made a new one on the witch wound. So it's about rescuing yourself, but it's more about persecution. The fear of persecution, which a lot of witches feel. Yeah, unemployed angels. All right, I love those too. Hey, that's two great suggestions. I'm gonna write them down. So unemployed angels. That definitely has to be done. And witch wound. And I did think about the witch wound one, so obviously it's an affirmation. Activation and development of clear gifts and witch wound 2. Integrating our parts. Integration's a good one, but that again, Amber, could be a certificate thing. But activation, I did think about one on how to develop psychic abilities. Psychic. So that's a good one. Like how to begin to like channel and receive information, so I can teach people how I do it basically. But that's going to be an interesting one. Maybe it has to be like a video lesson, so I'm going to think about it. Amazing, guys. Thank you so much. All right. Well, happy Easter, everybody. I'm pretty sure it's Easter. Don't know. But I'm sending you guys so much love. Thank you for sharing this space, for your time, for your energy, which is the most beautiful gift I could ever receive. Thank you, Hannah. Sending you so much love, you guys. And keep an eye out. I will schedule another one very soon. Sending you lots of love, guys. And as always, have a magical day. All right. Bye-bye, guys. Happy Easter. Anytime. Bye-bye.